Welcome to another episode of Gear Talk with James, where today I'm going to talk to you about patch changes. So before we head on over there and start messing with things, let's talk about what patch changes are. Where's that pedal at? I got it! Traditionally, guitars will have several pedals when playing in a live setting, something kind of like this. These pedals can be used for distortion, delay, different types of effects. Now, to activate these pedals, you have to typically walk over to your pedal board and stomp on them. So there's two potential problems with this. One is that you have to stand by your pedal board for most of the show. You gotta stomp on these pedals every time you have an effect that you wanna change into, and depending on how many effects you might have, you might be stuck there. So this means you're not able to move around, engage with fans, engage with your band, and have a good time. You're just stuck to your pedal board the whole time. Additionally, more pedals mean more problems. You have more pedals to troubleshoot. If something breaks in the process chain, you gotta really dig in to see what happened. Now, this is where patch changes are here to save you, but there are some prerequisites. Number one, your live show needs to be pre-programmed on a laptop. This means you need to have a session set up in a DAW like Cubase, Ableton Live, where you play to a click and all of your audio files that you send to front of house are in there as well. And second, you need to have the right equipment. You need an Axe-Fx, a Kemper, an effects processor, something that's gonna not only receive signals, but also be able to be in your effects loop and make these changes for you. All right, that's enough talk, let's get into this. So for today's example, I'm gonna be using the Axe-Fx 3 and Cubase. Now, before you can start programming your patch changes, you need to identify how you're gonna be sending the signals to your device. Most devices like the Axe-Fx and the Kemper have a MIDI input port, which you can use to send signals for these patch changes. You'll need to pull up the device's documentation for your specific model. So for example, I'm using the Axe-Fx 3, so I have the Axe-Fx 3 documentation open. So I've pulled up the MIDI reference table for my Axe-Fx. Now this is what I'm gonna use to determine what signals to send to my Axe-Fx over MIDI. So on my Axe-Fx, I have on channel 400 a rhythm channel and a couple clean channels. These are some of the effects I'm gonna be using in one of our songs. So I already have a MIDI channel created for my Axe-Fx. I've already drawn out the MIDI that I need to have here. We need to input these signals into the channel. You need to make sure you're sending over the right MIDI channel. So depending on your device, you might send over MIDI channel 1, 2, 3, 4. Mine is currently sending over MIDI channel 1. Now in Cubase, you need to select the MIDI track that you want to modify, go to MIDI, list editor, and this will allow you to enter in those program changes. So first off, we need to make sure we're in bank 400. We don't want to be in 399, 398, any of these other banks. We want to be in bank 400. So how do we get there? Per the documentation, we need to input a CC change of 0 with a value of 3, and then a program change of 16 to get there. So that's what we have on top here. We have a CC 0 with a value of 3, and then we have a program change of 17. So in the Axe-Fx, if you want to select a specific scene, now the scenes can be clean, distortion, different types of amps, whatever the case is, whatever you have set for that scene, if you want to select it, you have to send a controller change to the CC of 34 with a value of whatever scene you want to go to. So my Axe-Fx starts on 0, and you would go 0 for the first scene, 1 for the next scene, and so on. And as you can see here in the MIDI channel, I have a CC34 with a value of 0. So I'm selecting the first scene, which is my rhythm channel. So when the song starts, I'll start on my rhythm channel. So in the song Hearts in Doubt, Mikey and myself are playing clean guitars on the verse. And it sounds something like this. So pretty simple rhythm, but we need to switch to that automatically. All we need to do is send a CC change of 34 with a specific value for that scene. The scene that I have set up is a scene 3, but because I'm starting at 0 for my scenes, it's technically number 2. So 0, 1, 2, that means the third scene. So let's go ahead and see what this sounds and looks like. So you can see it automatically changed for me. I didn't have to step on any pedals, do anything. It's programmed exactly to where I need it in the song. So So the options with this are pretty much endless. A lot of the things that you can do with the Axe Effects and Kemper and other types of effects processors is you can change different cabs, you can change different effects. You can make a modulation pedal, do something different, you can turn different knobs. It's endless. You can do as much as you want with this. That's gonna be it for me today. Thank you for checking out another Gear Talk video. I love doing these. If you have any other concepts you'd like to see, whether it's lighting, anything we do with our rack, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to do it. A big shout out to everybody supporting us on Patreon. We really appreciate the support there. If you're looking for another way to connect with the band, this is definitely one way to do it. We have a lot of unique perks on there, such as early access to music, and the list goes on. Thank you again for checking out the video. We'll see you next time.